All right, Meteorologist Will Rowe back here to bring you another update at the snow that we have coming, and it is going to happen. I am just going to say that. There's a lot of people that are still like, oh, it might not happen. This one is going to happen. We are almost certain that we are going to see a pretty decent snowmaker here, and this could be the biggest snowfall since 2010 for areas across the state. So this is going to be a pretty big snowmaker. So winter storm warnings everywhere where you see the pink, so pretty much everywhere except a couple of counties down in the low country, and this is for that high impact snow event that is getting set to work through. So here in the Midlands, early Saturday morning is whenever we're thinking we're going to start to see some of that accumulation starting, but Saturday evening is when it is going to start to taper off and into early Sunday morning. So the highest impacts are going to come between Saturday morning and Saturday evening. Now, it can start off as a bit of a rain-snow mix starting as early as tonight. I think we do see a couple isolated sprinkles out there, but at that point, we're not going to be below freezing, so it is just going to be rain showers. But then as we head into after midnight, that's when that cold air starts to sneak in. Any residual showers could start to mix with some snowflakes, and then we do start to get going after sunrise on your Saturday. So at least 2 inches of snow is what we are going with, and I will explain that in just a minute, but we are likely going to see higher totals out of this system. So here are those showers that are going to work through tonight, so mainly across the southern Midlands down towards the low country, and this is just plain rain showers, nothing much to it. But then as we get that colder air to start to work in, here comes that snow across the upstate, then across the western Midlands after sunrise tomorrow, and this could be dumping some pretty heavy snow. Moderate to heavy snow bands are going to be likely. That starts to overspread more of the state as we head into lunchtime. Then we are seeing those moderate to heavy rounds of snow pretty much across the entire western half of the state. That continues as we head into about dinner time, still continuing to see moderate to heavy snow bands across the area, but you notice that rain has shifted fully offshore, so anyone that was still seeing rain is seeing all snow at this point in time as we head into Saturday evening. More snow showers continue as we head into 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Then here in the Midlands, it starts to taper off by midnight. We still could see some light snow showers across the area, but at this point, the moderate to heavy stuff has pushed off to the east of us. So we're just seeing a couple of snow showers to wrap everything up into the overnight hours. By 3 o'clock, I think it's done here in the Midlands. A couple more flurries towards the PD and the low country than it is out of here. As we head into Sunday, we will see a lot more sunshine, but the combination between that Arctic air mass that is coming in and also the snow that is still left over on the ground, temperatures are still going to hover around freezing as we head into your Sunday. So not much melting is expected to take place on Sunday. So we're likely going to still have a good bit of snow on the ground as we head into Monday. So zooming into the Midlands here, here's those couple isolated spotty showers as we head into this evening, but clouds will continue to increase. Couple of spotty snowflakes, maybe an isolated rain shower here or there, but likely does look to stay dry through the majority of tonight. Then as we head into tomorrow morning around daybreak, the snow starts to work into the upstate, then into the western Midlands, and then it starts to push into Columbia by lunchtime. Now, I think we will see a little more snow before this point in time, but it really depends on the dry air, because there is going to be a dry slot, and that is going to lower totals for somewhere in South Carolina. I'm not too concerned about that dry slot here in the Midlands, but definitely further off to the east and further off to the north, I think that will limit snow totals to some extent, but there will still be moderate to heavy snow bands that do set up across the area. So here we are about noon to 3 o'clock. We are seeing moderate to heavy snow. Now you see some of these darker blues here. There's a little band of dark blue there, little band of dark blue here. These are going to be those heavy snow bands that we are keeping an eye on, and these are very important because if a heavy snow band sets up over your area, you could see a quick 2, 3, 4 inches of snow in a short amount of time. Meanwhile, areas that are not in that heavy snow band, that could literally be right beside that heavy snow band, are not going to see as much. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here, because we could see higher amounts here, but lower amounts to the left, to the right, to the north, to the south of that heavy snow band. So those heavy snow bands are going to be a big factor in how much snow that we do get around here. Now, the general consensus, I'm thinking that we see about 4 to 7 inches here across the central Midlands, maybe a little bit lower, 2 to 5 down to the south and 5 to 8 to the north. That's the general consensus, but those heavy snow bands could exceed that forecast, or if you don't see that heavy snow band and we're thinking that you could see a little more, you might not see as much as what we are forecasting. So there's a wide range of possibilities here, and we're really not going to have a good idea of where those heavy snow bands do set up until it is actually happening. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you don't see as much, or if you exceed your forecast, it's likely because you did not see that heavy snow band set up over your area. But here we are around dinner time tomorrow. Everyone is seeing those moderate to heavy snow showers. We get maybe one more push of a heavier band of snow as this is starting to wrap up tomorrow night. So 9 o'clock, another batch of maybe some moderate to heavy snow, and then by midnight we are starting to wind down a little bit. We are still seeing some moderate to heavy snow to the south, but overall a little bit more dry air starts to sneak in. Some snow showers could wrap all of this up as we head into the overnight hours or early morning hours on Sunday. And then as we head into your Sunday morning after sunrise, the clouds will be out of here and we will see plenty of sunshine. So here is what our in-house model is spitting out. This is not our official snow forecast, but this is the model output from our in-house model. And this is that dry slot that I was talking about. There will be a dry slot as that upper level low dives south and it tries to phase with the low offshore. So whenever you get that ascending air here, and if it doesn't meet up at the right time, there is going to be that dry slot as it does start to come together. So that it might lower snow totals, and if it were here in the Midlands, it would be further off to the east, but I'm really not too concerned about that dry slot here in the Midlands. Now, if you are further off to the east over here, that would maybe play a factor a little bit, but overall, I'm really not too concerned about the dry slot here in South Carolina. But our in-house model showing about 7 inches here in Columbia, about 3.5 over towards Myrtle Beach and Kingstree, almost 2.5 down in Charleston, maybe a foot or half a foot up in Greenville, and maybe 7 up in Charlotte. So here's our official forecast here. We're going anywhere from 4 to 7 inches from Lexington, Columbia, over to Sumter, Manning, maybe 5 to 8 up towards Bishopville, Camden, Winsboro. 3 to 6 over in Saluda, 2 to 5 down in Aiken, Orangeburg, and those areas further to the south. So the further south you go, definitely we are expecting less snowfall, and the further north you go, you have definitely a higher potential for seeing snow, because that's where those heavier snow bands are more likely to set up the further north and the further east that you go. So we are going to keep a very close eye on that. So zooming in here a little bit more, I forgot to take that off here and pause that, but here is what we are looking at statewide. We could see about 5 to 8 inches for the northern half of the state, and where those heavier snow bands do set up, there is that potential for seeing double-digit snow totals. Now, I'm thinking this is mainly going to be closer to the border and towards the PD, but it is definitely a possibility that you could see double-digit snow totals somewhere out here. Now, a little bit further south, 2 to 5 inches, maybe up to 6 at times, then even further south down towards Hilton Head, maybe it's just south of Charleston, about a trace to 2 inches is what we are expecting. And this is going to be a fluffy snow for a lot of folks. Now, whenever we're first getting started and that snow moves in, those temperatures are still falling, so those ratios are going to be a little bit higher. The average here in South Carolina whenever we get snow is 8 to 1. Now, I'm thinking once it gets started, our temperatures are going to be around 30 to 32 degrees. So that is going to put us at a 10 to 1 ratio. So 1 inch of rain, 1 inch of water equals 10 inches of snow. Now, I'm not saying we're getting 10 inches of snow because we're not going to get 1 inch of water, but you get the point. 10 to 1 ratio. Now, as we get deeper into this event and as we head into Saturday afternoon, those temperatures definitely are going to start to fall, and most of us likely settle in the low to middle 20s as the snow is coming down. So that is going to boost our ratios up to a 15 to 1, maybe even a 20 to 1. So that would mean 1 inch of water equals 15 or 20 inches of snow. So that makes it light and fluffier because as these temperatures fall, the atmosphere holds less moisture. So these snowflakes, as they are growing, they're much drier, they're much fluffier, there's more air, so it accumulates quicker and it also is fluffier. So if you're trying to make a snowman, if you're trying to make a snowball and you find that it doesn't hold together, that's why, because it's a light and fluffy snow likely on top. Now, early on, if you do get some accumulating snow and you go out there and you make a snowball and it clumps together fine, that's because those temperatures were a little bit warmer as those snow showers were coming down at that point in time. So yeah, it definitely is possible for you to make a snowball or something, but the overall consensus, and as we do head deeper into this event, it is likely going to be a lighter, fluffier snow that doesn't really like to clump together because it is so dry and fluffy. But aside from that, speaking of dry and fluffy, as the snow starts to accumulate, we are going to see some pretty gusty winds. So what that means is as that snow accumulates, it's light and fluffy, it's going to be easy to blow around in these gusty winds. We could see wind gusts as high as 30 to 35 miles an hour as this snow is coming down. So here we are tomorrow afternoon, we're seeing those gusts 25, maybe up to 30 miles an hour, 35 mile per hour gusts are definitely not out of the question. But even after the event, some of that snow that is still on the ground overnight, and as we head into tomorrow, the winds will still be a little bit heavy at times. So that blowing snow is definitely going to be an issue for someone because as that snow does blow around, it can create times of low visibility. So that is something else that we are keeping an eye on. So yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind. It is going to be windy, but that light fluffy snow accumulating could cause some visibility issues. But also with the cold temperatures, it's definitely not going to feel too good. So as we head into Sunday morning, we're finally starting to see our winds relax, but they really don't go away until as we head into Sunday night. So extreme cold watch is in place for those cold temperatures and the possibility of those wind chills getting down to below zero. Yes, we could see some negative wind chills across the Midlands as we head into tomorrow night. Well, yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, today is Friday. But yeah, 15 in Columbia, Camden, 14 up in Winsboro, 11 over in Saluda, 18 in Bishopville, 16 in Sumter, 17 in Orangeburg. These are our actual forecast lows, but whenever you factor in the wind gusts. So here we are as we push through Saturday afternoon. So as that snow is coming down, it's feeling like 8 in Newberry, it's feeling like 9 in Saluda, 14 in Columbia, also up in Camden, 16 over in Sumter. As we push into the evening and those temperatures start to fall, we are still seeing some snow at this point in time. So it's feeling like 8 in Columbia, 7 in Camden, 7 in Bishopville, also over in Saluda, 9 in Aiken, 9 in Orangeburg, 8 in Manning, 13 in Newberry. So it is just bitterly cold out there. But as we do start to fall back into the low and middle teens for overnight lows and those winds still gusting as high as 20 to 25 miles an hour, here are our wind chills as we are waking up on Sunday morning. 0 in Newberry, 1 in Winsboro, 5 in Camden, 4 in Lexington, 3 here in Columbia, 2 down in Orangeburg. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some sub-zero wind chills. We could see those wind chills below 0 for a couple of folks out there as well. So bitterly cold. If you have anywhere to go tomorrow, Sunday, be sure that you dress in layers. Wear the hat, wear the gloves, a couple of jackets, the thick pants. Just be sure that you are keeping yourself warm. But we do have those weather warn days in place for both Saturday and Sunday as that snow does push through. And then Sunday, we could still see some of those gusty winds that could create a little bit of visibility issues, but it's mainly for those very cold temperatures early on in the morning. So we're going around 29 to 30 on Saturday, 33 on Sunday. It is going to be snowy on Saturday, and it is just going to be overall cold here as we head through this weekend. So to sum everything up here, we could see a rain flurry mix on the onset of this, starting as early as tonight, but the snow likely isn't going to really get going and start accumulating until after sunrise tomorrow here in the Midlands. Those wind chills will be in the single digits or low 10s, gusts up to 30, maybe even 35 miles an hour. So the blowing snow, the snow in general, we don't get it. So some people aren't used to driving on it. So that's another issue here. So very hazardous road conditions will be possible through the day on Saturday, and that could even linger into Sunday and Monday because we're definitely still going to have a good amount of snow on the ground as we push into Sunday and Monday. It's not going to melt the next day like it usually does here, but yeah, so keep an eye for all of these things. I will leave this graphic up right here for you so that you get an idea of the timing across the Midlands. So continue to stay here at the Skywatch Weather Team. Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust and I will continue to bring you updates as this storm does evolve. But just remember, this very well could be a memorable snow here in the Midlands, so be sure that you are staying safe, but also enjoy it while you can, especially if you are a snow lover.